Finally got the wing moulds ready. I've the pour over half I've gone round and I've dug out all the edges and filled it up with sand and epoxy, and then sort of tried to sand it smooth a bit, just so as it doesn't, nothing hooks up on the bag when I'm vacuum bagging it. And I used my tin foil. Went round and just sort of creased it on the edges, and then transferred that onto a piece of plywood as a fabric template. So yeah, I've gone for just like a half a wing plus 2 inches, and I'll have that 2-inch overlap on each half. I'll see how that goes. It's all new to me, I don't know what I'm doing, so yeah, experimenting as I go along really. I'm hoping that will work, and it will make the bias fabric a bit easier to handle, whereas I've learned from vacuum bagging a 60-inch long bias cut piece of fabric is a bit of a pain to handle or move around. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to get these waxed up, get loads of PVA on and try and preserve the finish. I'm not very happy with it. It's got some bumps in it, and I'm not going to be able to pull painted parts out of it. It's definitely a PVA and wax wing, and then finish it off out of the mould. But you know, it's all part of the learning curve. Everything I've learnt doing these, I'm going to be able to apply them to that moulded plank that I've been working on then. So yeah, it's all good. Okay, changed the plans a bit. I'm using the original template as a foam template. So I've cut out some pieces of foam to match that template, which is about 6mm smaller all round than the mould. So 6mm on the trailing edge, 6mm on the leading edge. I've cut out my foam and slabbed it on the CNC cutter. So these are going to be the bottom cores, and then I'm going to have some top cores. Putting some little knife cuts in all through to help it curl up a bit, and then I'm going to lay up my fabric. First one's going to be a lightweight kind of plain, and I'm going to do it just the same as I used to do my vacuum bagged wings really. So I'm going to go for a stress skin. So it's going to have 3-ounce unicarbon and a 4-ounce veil and 1.7-ounce Kevlar backing it up, which will double up as a hinge line as well. And then I shall put this on the top and then put it in a bag, vacuum it down, and all in one go I'll have the cloth laid up and the foam stuck down onto it. This is going to work alright while I've got nothing in the mould like servo hatches and things like that. So this is like my first attempt to see how it goes. No idea what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting. So I've cut out another piece of plywood, back of a wardrobe here. So ever on a budget. So yeah. This will be my fabric. I'm going to do the fabric in one piece, as it's going to be a stress skin, and then yeah, I'm not going to do any video with a layup or anything, but hopefully in a few days I'll video the first opening of the moulds, and we'll see what happens. See if the mould stays together, falls apart, whether the wing's crap, whether the wing's good. Okay, on the bottom half I did it all in one go. I didn't use peel ply, and I stuck the blue foam core straight onto the bottom and then vacuum bagged the whole thing. I put lots of crisscrosses, if you can see those, in the cores, so help it to conform to the mould. But I found that it's quite hard. I tried to keep all the fabric away from the leading edge, but I still ended up with a little bit coming up over here and there, and I found it very hard to clean it up nicely. So I decided with the top half, which has got more camber anyway, that I'd try just using the pill ply and then putting the foam core in as a secondary bagging process. Got to experiment with these things, see which one works best. I was trying to avoid using the pill ply, to be quite honest, but maybe you've got to use it. But you can see it comes off quite nicely. Quite pleased with it actually. I've used pill ply before and I've found that if you get as much of the paper off the top, yeah, because when I lay it down on the wet fabric, I put it down onto the fabric, smooth it out, and then put a couple of layers of paper towel on. If you peel that after it's cured, if you peel that paper towel off as best you can first, the pill ply comes off much easier. And there is a possibility of reusing it as well. It's got some epoxy in it. I think it'll work again. Just have to try it anyway. Keep the budget conscious going. Right. I've also found that this is a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. Cleaning up the edges with a chisel. It's actually not too bad. Well, I haven't got much stuff here. There we go. It's certainly a lot easier being able to get the chisel out over the wing rather than having the foam core in the way. It's actually easier to clean where the fabric comes right over the leading edge and overlaps by 1/8 of an inch or more. So yeah, maybe cut the fabric a bit bigger, be a bit more generous with the epoxy, and might save some time and make it easier. Yeah, I should trim off the trailing edge as well with the chisel, and then I shall some slightly thickened epoxy, just smear it all over the two cores, and then bag them down, leaving about 5 millimeters all the way around. Just experimenting with that. Yeah, that's just going to go down, no problem. Those cuts in it really help it to curl round, I think. It's damn sight easier than trying to cut the profiles into the wings, even though I've got a CNC foam cutter.